So I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd do one. Um, Mainly for myself, I guess. I don't know. Um, the place of seeing, the place of seeing this indescribable place called, I call it boundless energy, is nearly impossible to explain. It's it's almost like you're living in a city underwater and no one knows it. No one else sees it. Yet you see the clearness of the water appearing as everything, and everything is made of ice. And it's everywhere. And at first it's an amazing experience. And you want to express about it and talk about it. And then after years, you get to a point you say, I'm happy not doing much about this. It's good. And even as life changes, once this beautiful, I'm going to call it a dimension, but yet once you see the dimension, you realize there's no other dimensions. But once this dimension is seen, it's thought of that, oh, then everything in life is going to be happy and it's going to be easy. That's far from it. It's almost like you've been on this river raft and then you finally turn and you park the raft somewhere and you sit in this beautiful stillness. But then what happens is everything you passed back there on the river, it now comes floating down to revisit you. And these are oftentimes memories of things that happened 20 years ago. And they are appearing right there as if they happened yesterday. And now you don't respond to them the way you used to. Before there was a separate you, and if things came up that were bad, you would either walk away from the people that were doing them, or you would go out and buy things, can become a consumer, or you would go to the bar and drink, or party, or look for the next event to keep you busy, always covering them. But now you see everything. You see that memory that came up, and you're forced to explore it in the stillness, as the stillness, seeing that the entire event was stillness anyway. And it's not easy. So I moved from Maryland down here to South Carolina. And I did it during when COVID took over. I was forced to. Every job I had up there playing music disappeared all in one day. And then I met a girl, and she moved in, and we started dating, living together at the same time. And then my landlord said, oh, it's time for you guys to leave because I'm going to have a baby and I need the space. So I had to leave Maryland, and with a new girlfriend, and start a life over down here in South Carolina. That was so challenging. So I was going through empty nest syndrome as my kids were getting older. And I had to look at all of them and say, is it okay to go? Can I go? So I was dealing with that. And then I had a new girlfriend who we were starting a relationship. And relationships they're boot camp for the soul. So her and I have our little battles, but oh my gosh, we have so much brightness and fun at the same time. It outweighs it. But those battles trigger. When you have a relationship, you really trigger. You open up. You say, here is the most tender spot of myself. Can you come in and look at it? And they do. And they go, oh, here it is. And they pull it out and they say, I'm going to make a painting and a movie and a song about this. And you're like, holy crap, don't do that. And we face so much. There's times where there was anger, and there was times where I just did stupid things. But the overall memories in the relationship are just sweet. Sweet. So I come down here to South Carolina. I'm trying to get a business going, playing music. The folks down here they're not like they are up in Maryland. They don't shake your hand and say, I'll see you on Tuesday, and then they show up and they're there on Tuesday. They don't do it that way. They just kind of ghost you and say, well, yeah, maybe we did do that. Maybe we didn't. They're very lackadaisical. Much different. But the move opened up a lot of quiet time for me. So I could really explore the one main thing was, am I this character of a father that played a story of leaving children when they're not children, they're in their 20s? Am I a father that left them? And if I go and sit in silence, there is no father. There is no children. There's just a presence appearing as all of it. And if I sit in stillness and silence, what is there? What needs fixing? Nothing. Nothing. So for the past 3 years, I've been really just sitting with that. I haven't been writing about it. I haven't been doing videos. I haven't been trying to teach it. I've just been letting life appear and seeing this divinity as everything. And the more I stop and allow and let go, the more gracefulness takes place. The more I look at it as a story of I'm Mike and I'm a father and I miss my kids, the more pain comes to that separate, unrooted center. And the thing that's interesting is in the relationship is the more I center myself into this divinity, just say, here it is, this, then she might do something which normally I would say, oh no, you can't do that. Don't do that around me. At this point you say, oh, I don't care. That's beautiful. Look how you do that. That's beautiful. And you see the beauty of another person to a point where you're like, oh, they're me. I still have sadness that comes through me. I don't know what it is. At nighttime it comes. It's been doing this for a while, and it just appears, just this sadness. I just feel sad. I miss something. I'm not sure what it is. but there's just a sadness. So I feel the sadness, and it's like a cloud within a cloud. It just appears, and I watch it, and it's there. And if I look into the sadness, it is nowhere and everywhere, the same as this is. It's nowhere and everywhere. And it slows me down. And I find myself at that point just going inward, sitting. So the opening of spirit in our lives will open everything. It opens everything. Even the pain in the past. And it opens up the idea of the way things ought to be. These are the way things ought to be. It takes that and says, nope. Shoom, let's crack that open. And the best way to see those is to just see them and see, yeah, there it is. So now I'm in a place where I don't feel like sharing much, except being this. That's my sharing. I'm teaching Zen classes on Saturdays at a senior home. I call them Zen classes because I'll get some people to show up. I call them non-duality, divine presence classes. people probably wonder, what is that? So I call them Zen classes. Yet some people still say, well, I don't want to go to that. I don't know what that is. But there are about 10 students who come in, and I don't teach them anything. We just talk. I play the flute a little bit, play a singing bowl, and then I say, well, how was your week? And they tell me about their week. And we take a look at Walt Whitman poetry and Shakespeare poetry and say, these are beautiful ways to see life. And so we do that. Beyond that, I'm playing gigs for the seniors and for some school kids. And what I'm finding is this deeper divine centering is something, and it is there, and it's real. And awareness of its existence first takes place, and then what happens is the mind then goes into it, and you realize, oh, the mind is this divine presence. And then you realize that you look at memories and things, or even events that took place yesterday, or even right now, find a separate you. You can't. So then what is here is just this appearing as everything. So living in sacredness is a very solitude path. And I am enjoying it. I still read books, and most of them are all different books on searching and spiritual, and books by Ramana. I still read those because I'm looking for language. I just love the language. A word, a simple word. I've also been drawn to really nothing more than classical music lately, Beethoven, Mozart. Just listening to that, because there's levels and notes within notes, rivers within rivers of songs, within the songs. I find them beautiful. So have things changed in the past 3 years since I've been here? Yeah, they have. I'm not running as much. I'm not chasing. There's a constant feeling of missing my kids that's always there. But yet at the same time, I can sit and very quickly feel their hearts and the heart energy, which is just not the physical heart, but the heart of breath. I can feel that energy as them. And one day, I'll probably get back up there. Hopefully soon. I don't know. But now there's love. And I'm loving this life. I'm loving this life. I'm making finally enough money to pay for things. Gosh, 2 months ago, and then 6 months prior to that, for like the past year, food money was a challenge. But what I found was there were times where I had, oh my gosh, I had literally 20 cents in the bank. I'm not kidding you. And I sat, and there was still just this there. Whether there was 20 cents in the bank or at one point I had $20,000. What's there? This. Nothing changed. So I thought I would just share a video of this moment. These are things that appeared, thoughts appearing, words to be spoken, sharing what is here, this open presence appearing as everything. And it's such a beautiful state. Such a beautiful state. So everything we're seeing is look into the aliveness of everything. Look into the aliveness itself. Not everything, not the aliveness of everything. Just look at aliveness. Just look at aliveness. And now, look how aliveness appears as everything. That is beautiful. Okay. Thank you.